Hey folks, so back again, and I want to just take you through a walkthrough of how I'm using Code Interpreter on ChatGPT Plus, which is the paid for version, and it's like about $20 a month, to help me at speed analyze data and get key insights out of that data for the work that I do. So in this example here, what I've actually done is specifically looked at a piece of data from the team at MindTools. So I'm looking at their 20th anniversary annual report. And what I've said is I'm an L&D professional, work in a corporate organization, giving it context, want to review this document and share the 5 key insights. So if we go down here and we can see that GPT has successfully extracted the text from the document, which is great. And it immediately gives me 5 key insights that might be relevant to me as an L&D professional. And it gives me the pages to look at too. So I can see my 5 insights here, which is great. It also gives me a bit of a notice on constraints to say these are just initial insights based on the table of contents and first few lines of each section. So for a more in-depth understanding, it recommends you read the full document. Now, what I've also done and said, as an L&D professional, what are the 3 takeaways that would be useful for me to know as an industry practitioner in the corporate L&D divine L&D team even? So we can see here that based on the structure, which is really just kind of given a bird's eye view and some of the key themes, these might be the 3 big takeaways that I look at from the document itself. And again, it just reminds us to say these are the high level takeaways. Now, what I have said is challenge GPT to say, can you give me more in depth insights in a smaller package? So it tells me here the specific details and recommendations are in the report will provide more in depth insights. So it's pushing me to read the report, which I've done, but I want to get its own views as well. So here is about laying down a challenge to GPT to really say, well, what are the in depth insights in your opinion? And then again, it comes back. So we've gone from the 3 that we had here, which were kind of the big trends, which it saw just kind of by skim reading the report. And then what we can see here is these are the things that I could talk about focusing on to fellow people in my team, which is adapting to digital learning is a trend that's been seen over the last 20 years. Continuous learning culture and how we build upon that, where learning is seen as a continuous process, not a one-off event. Love that GPT. And then showing value of L&D. And what's really great is that we've been able to work with this from the beginning in looking at, there's so much data out there in our space, and some of these reports are absolutely huge. Actually, this one from MindTools is not that big, but other reports can be absolutely gigantic, like 50, 100 pages long. So the ability to use Code Interpreter in GPT alongside the work you're doing can actually save you hours on just getting to the main crux of what are the things that will be of most interest to you and most useful, and actually pinpointing that data specifically while working with GPT. And then if wanting to, prompting that even further to understand what can you learn from this as an L&D practitioner, and then what could you take away to work with in your team. Now, this isn't just in the L&D world. You could do this in any role that you've got, and the ability to work with data in that way, get some insights, and even get an output that you can download as well to use as part of a conversation or on work you're doing is fantastic. And as I said in the previous video, I mean, this is one of the really great applications where we can use generative AI to add value in the workflow. So this is about much more than content creation. This is about working in a partnership as a thought partner, even, and helping to unearth stuff that we may not always see from our point of view. So look, folks, I hope that is helpful. Any questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to know how you're using this too, if you are using this, and I will speak to you in the next one.